One of the things that was very challenging too is mud season. So
Yeah.
every year in the spring, the whole property becomes mud. So in the summer, and the trailer is is not broken, I bring a yard and a half of gravel. So, and this is like a lifesaver because before, like the minute we got out of the mud room, that's why it's called a mud room. We were in the mud. That everything there was mud. This was all mud. The the truck, like, just like sometime in the spring, like the groove of the wheels was this deep in the mud, all the way here. So now with the gravel, it's so good, but I still in the spring I have to do more because I want to do at least up to the chicken coop. I'm gonna have to move the fence that way,
Yeah.
and we're gonna have the barn in that area on that side of the pond. Concurrently to this, I built the greenhouse, but
You built the root cellar first, the first
but let's go
last
see
year.
this over there because I built that first. That's when your family visited the first time. So that's
2022.
22. So I repositioned the sawmill because I had it in front over there and it was blocking the view. It's not a good place. So this worked out really good, except this space was supposed to be 16 and a half feet wide, so I could do the 16-foot long lugs, but it ended up at like 14 something. Don't know how. So now what I have to do is I have to extend it. So I'm gonna do this winter. So I'm gonna I have a footing here, and I'm gonna put a beam here, and make that, and remove this and cut. So my space here is 16.
You
and a
will
half.
remove it,
I will widen it.
but you have to do another hole then.
No, this one will just rest here.
Uh,
That with the cement footing, deck footing. It'll be fine. And because now these big lugs, they don't fit here, so I have to move them sideways,
Yeah.
push, move, but they're so big. Look at that.
Yeah.
And then I made the bed bunk like that. Thanks to sawing with Sandy for all these ideas.
And for Robert for helping you
Well, Robert, yes.
carry
Robert,
the logs.
that's right. With his excavator,
Yeah.
exactly like ours. But you see these logs, like it's hard to move them. So, but I'm gonna slice them. I'm gonna start slicing them in the spring, in preparation for the the barn. And then I'll start bringing the trees that I need. I have to cut them before it starts thawing, so they're not full of sap. So, and then I'll fetch them as I need. And then this we did, the orchard we did right away
Yeah.
in the summer. Oh no,
As soon as Gary finished excavating the whole area here.
coming up. That's coming up. So these posts I dug those holes. I had to dig the holes. Some posts need like support because I couldn't dig so deep. There's like boulder and that are too big to even move. And then
The coop is 22.
yeah, the coop was after.
Uh-huh.
So we did the high tunnel on 21 too. Pretty much at the same. So when because the sawmill was in there. In fact, so the sawmill was in a garage like that at first, in front. So then we moved the sawmill there, and then we had a garage like this that we turned into the high tunnel. Right. What are you doing there? You want to
Not on her.
high tunnel?
Miley, come here.
And then I built this to supply gravity-fed water to the high tunnel. But Divine never really used it. Not sure why. And this, I have to do that whenever it snows. And then in the winter, quite a few times I have to go on the outside and remove the snow that falls on the side, because it goes there and then it stretches the...
Uh-huh.
So... But it's good. So that's also a YouTube idea. The fence was to prevent the young dogs from going and ripping the poly. Yeah, and at first, the first summer, we would just go fetch water, then transfer it to those.
Yeah.
So Divina had water. And then the chicken coop, I built that with, actually pretty much all of it is wood that I milled. But I would never build I don't like it at all, because it's not tall enough. You have to bend, and it's just like, no.
And then
But-
it's not facing the south.
So
We didn't know.
yeah, we didn't know. That's the thing. But the barn coop will be really good. Yeah, right, Willow? Okay. So then I built the pool house first too. The pool house, I built that in 2022.
The pool house?
Yeah,
The pool house was built in summer or
summer 2022.
22? Summer of 22. The summer of 22.
It bows in so much. I hope it's okay.
Too bad I don't have the hot dog.
It's called a needle.
We're going to the pool house. The pool is not there. It's emptied and kept away and stored away for winter. Oh yeah.
This has to be removed in winter, because one winter I remember the snow was all the way to here.
Oh really?
Yeah.
This is where we store the hay.
So that was the first time I was using. I was building a gambrel roof type.
Oh yeah, this is your first gambrel structure.
Yeah. So I learned
Yeah.
stuff. This is getting wet because of the way I did the poly. So it's gonna rot eventually.
Yeah.
I had to put a lot of road base and sand to level the ground because I couldn't get the ground level. I didn't have the right tool, like the right equipment to do it with a machine. So the option.
And then you have to do this all the time. It snows every time.
But usually what I do now is I take the roof rack and I do it from the outside. It's just easier, but now this melted mostly today. So yeah, and then in 2021, the summer of 2021.
No, not 21. Oh yeah,
when
the
Gary
first.
came,
Yeah, the first year.
I already
Just got-
knew I wanted this greenhouse there. It was already in the plan. So while the excavator was here to clear all the brush that you see, like that mountain there, and the one there, and the one back there. So all of that is the remnant of the slash piles that we burnt that the
remnants.
first winter. So he kind of dug the hole there, but last summer when he came, we had to, adjust it. So if you see the snow that fell from the roof at the front, that too I have to remove that in winter. Now I won't do it today because there's not enough, but if I don't, it's just too heavy and it blocks the sun from going in. So ideally I use the snow blower to do that. So I bring the snow blower there and it's done easily. Under there we have I don't know how many,
Soil, the garden soil.
Garden soil. How many yards? I have no idea.
Yeah, we had like a truckload of soil that was dumped here. So there's still a bunch of soil there that we can use next next year. I'm gonna go here. We're gonna show you the greenhouse inside. Maybe it's a little warm. Okay.
So recently, once we had the excavator, I flattened this to try to move the water out so it doesn't come in this space. Because if you look at that line, when I built it, put your camera maybe like against the wall. Yeah, that line, it was straight. The wall was flush to the line when I built it. But when we backfilled, it ended up pushing the wall too much. So because of too much pressure. So I want you to lift this and keep it pushed here. Okay? Like that. Some in the, to be able to stand there to put the next layer. Okay. Right? So even if it falls, it's okay. I'll come back and we'll see after.
Another challenge of the day. You see that? It cracked. Oh, that's a tabanak moment.
Okay. So, well, we'll do the same. We'll do the same here, and
Are you the bases of those? They anchored good?
yeah, oh yeah, lag bolt.
Okay, so then we should be able to pivot it. But,
You mean like if you pull with the excavator?
well, I'll get on the other side and push.
Okay. Because once we had done the second level, it was still very straight.
Yeah.
It's only the third level. So the third level, maybe we'll just do like this much, and then below is the flat. Do you know what I mean? And I'll put like just something to contain the soil there.
You want me to finish digging this out? Or?
Yeah, yeah. And then here, and then we'll see if you can push it.
So we're going on the second level of the greenhouse.
Now, the plan, when I'm done with this, is we're gonna have a big roller here of how is it called, that insulation, that bubble wrap that has silver on both sides? I can't remember.
I don't know.
Anyway,
Bubble wrap?
no, it's bubble wrap, but with silver on both sides. So we're gonna have a roll of that that's gonna come down all the way to the bottom, and that's gonna cover this poly at night, and that's gonna keep the heat inside the inner greenhouse. This building will remain uninsulated.
In the outside.
This one here.
Yeah, this one.
Unless we have a lot of money, we
Yeah.
can insulate it. But the inside building, the walls and the roof will be insulated. So now Like if you go here where I am, and you look at the bottom line, you can see it's not straight anymore. It bows. So that's supposed to be straight.
Oh yeah.
So the building wants to go like that. So I have to do some more bracing this winter to make sure that it won't move in the spring again. And in the summer, when it's really hot, we roll down the inner poly because just the outer is plenty. And here we remove that, and it gives like a venting. So there's plenty of venting for the extra hot air to get out. But in winter, cold season, we keep it off so it stays inside. And then once I feel comfortable with the bracing and that it's not gonna move, I'm gonna backfill this up to here. So this will be like a hill, a slope from the road level to here.
Mm.
And then it'll be like grass or whatever flowers. So I have a leak there, another leak over there, but I can fix that. It's not a big deal.
Maybe here is better. Way better. We're in the main greenhouse. It's
Yeah,
wet
but
here.
It's okay.
Ah.
I'm not worrying about that.
The ground is moist. Eh?
So in here, because when I built this, I was not very, I didn't have much experience. I didn't put a drain pipe at the back here. So all the water, and because these posts, the excavator is a 200, so it's like the bucket is really big. So we couldn't dig one hole for each post. So what happened is like we dug 2 trenches. And then I did my posts with like it's called a Bigfoot. It's like a reverse funnel that you fill with concrete, and then you put your sono tube on top of that. And I have rebar in the ground, driven in the ground, and inside that sono tube. But this moved, and what happened is the 2 trenches, they just became like quicksand, mud, like it was like if you went like that, you could actually dig yourself inside like really deep. So I had to add gravel everywhere to kind of solidify the ground, and that worked to solidify the ground. But some of my footings, like if you look at this one, it looks like it even moved a little, so that's my emergency bracing. So it's not so good. I have like plates like that to prevent my beams to split. Right? If you look at this, so over there I had one where the 3 plies kind of split from the pressure. So this winter I have to redo my bracing. I'm gonna add at the upper part. I'm gonna add bracing that go the whole way to keep these all tight together, and I'm gonna do the beds so that next spring when we're ready, we can take our topsoil, fill up our bed, and get started here and have like a real garden for the summer, not in bags like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then we won't have a maze to go through.
Yeah.
You know, because that was like,
A pain.
yeah, a fucking pain, I might add. And then once we have enough money, these walls will be insulated and closed, and that will also help. This will also be painted black, and then I might put a wood stove in here. We have one that we can put, but we would need to drive the chimney, you know. So the chimney, I might just put it through the metal and out, or I can make it through the floor. That I'm not sure yet. That'll depend on how much money we have for that. And because the idea is to try to grow, you know, until like pretty much year round. But look, this is not bad. This is the fig tree. The fig tree is fine because this won't get, like, once it's minus 35, this is not gonna be minus 35 here. It may be minus 15, which is fine for the fig tree. And the end of January, things will warm up, and then we can start putting lettuce and stuff like that that are cold resistant. So this is still a project. I've learned a lot working on this, but as you see, there's a lot of wood that we bought. You know, like the expensive wood, the posts, that's all wood that I milled from trees of the property, like 6x6. And then a lot of 2x6, but there was just so much wood, and I didn't have time to get the trees, mill, and all that. So that's why, like, this summer, with the excavator, I feel I have time. I'm more suited to challenge myself to do the whole building with wood that from the property, you know. For Divine, the law of minimum effort means let Philippe do it. Okay.
Bond is there. Bond! You're calling? Meow?
Okay. Then the triangle garden, that was 2020.
Triangle garden? Oh, yeah. Hi. Yeah. I think I think so.
At the beginning of 2022, yeah. At the same time, the same year I did the pool house. So these holes, I dug them by hand too.
How many holes?
It's a lot. Yeah, that was hard, you know.
Yeah.
That's the limiting factor. Now it's not anymore. Like, I can dig holes as non-stop with the excavator. It's not a limiting factor at all. Because I could have made this bigger, you know. It's this size because I didn't want to dig more holes than that.
Yeah.
And then
But it's big enough.
last spring, I did the root cellar. So for the root cellar, it was early spring.